music, fashion, most recently finance, health, and fitness. So much can be said about the greatness and the legacy of Russell Simmons, but lately, some claims and sexual allegations have tarnished what the man has possibly built. Now, we know that recently Russell Simmons stepped down from his positions at his empires. Now, he hasn't, that's still, I don't know exactly, is it music, fashion, everything? He just released a statement saying that he's stepping down from his empires. And it's kind of ridiculous because now it seems like more things are coming to light or more things are being shed on what are possibly accusations. That's all we can say that they are, is accusations about Russell Simmons. So H is going to join in our discussion today, and I appreciate you for that, good sir. I know you have a lot of intel that you can speak on, being as though you were heavy in the music realm during the 80s and early 90s as well. No.
Nigga said 80s, yo. 80s. He said on the most serious face. Yeah, 80s, like mid 90s, man.
No, when I say 80s, I say that because H, you my man, and I tend to you for some information and things, but you were growing up in that era, like in that's what I mean. In that time, like like I was born in the mid 80s, so I was a pup. Like I was around and actually was privy to hearing some things, but I was still a pup in that era. I know you were teens, mid 20s, and that's what I mean.
Run DMC was like one of my first concerts I ever.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So you have intel as far as like when he was popping in the 90s, you were relevant. You knew, I was still in 91 when these accusations was turned up. I was 7 years old, so I was a little boy, like I was aware of Run DMC, but I wasn't in tune to know exactly who Russell meant. That's who I was. I know I joke about you being 56 and 57, but no. You have some great knowledge that you can share with us just about the 90s and the scene that was going on at that time. So as I mentioned, Russell Simmons, an urban culture icon for music, fashion, as we just mentioned Run DMC. We'll talk about that in a moment. Fashion-wise, though, he's taken some losses since these allegations and claims have come to light. So JCPenney's has dropped his brand. JCPenney's has dropped his...
What brand, though?
Like the Fat Farms and the...
That's the smoke and mirrors.
I know you said that but the brands that he was selling, he had some of his brand, his Russell Simmons brands, in 80 of their 875 stores. They've taken those brands down. HBO
that must have been in Middle America, because we travel the coast.
Yeah, we do, and we
saw some Fat Farm anywhere.
You know what's funny though, that we may not wear it, but like as you say, folks in Middle America do. They still, Russ is still relevant, and Russ is definitely still relevant on the international scene because of his ties to Kamara, his children. So he's relevant in that light as well. HBO has removed his name from the credits of All Def Comedy, and he's the creator and the executive director of that. So that's something I wanna speak on as well. That's unique to me. I'm quite sure they have a contract, and HBO also let it be known that they want to still appease their viewer who are committed to watching the show, and also they want to be able to help up-and-coming comedians still get a chance to showcase their talents and be seen on a large platform. But Russell Simmons, the founder of Def Comedy Jam, the All Def Comedy was pretty much a spinoff of that. Def Comedy Jam was founded in 1992. So the accusations, for those who do not know, that were brought up began in 1991. They said they took place in 1991, and that was pretty much prime when Run DMC was jumping, and they were pretty much the hottest act in music. And they had, I don't want to say they had crossed over, but they were a mainstream act.
They sent my soul out
at that time as well. I mean, thank you for those Jews. So you can hit us with the Jews. And I don't want to get in too much detail of the actual allegations. You can definitely do that research for yourself. I'm not one that's funny about the sexual allegations. However, of course, I have a mother, a grandmother, I have a daughter, I have a fiance, a woman that I love. So I'm very skeptic on. I'm damn sure against female abuse. I think that's the worst thing in the world. I think the two worst things in the world are rapists and child molesters. I think those are the two worst things in the world. You know, thieves are wrong. Sometimes though, you can justify a person stealing a piece of bread if they haven't eaten in a year. At least I can. You know, I can. You know, you can justify a certain murder. You can justify a murder if you walk into your home and you see a random burglar in your house and your family tied. You know, you can. In my opinion, you can justify certain things. You can't justify child molestation nor rape or female assault. In my eyes, you know, you just can't do that. And being as though there are always three sides to a story, and I'm not in any room, hotel, car, vehicle, office, wherever any allegations or actual assaults take place, I'm not going to be one to really speak on it, on the actual claim. You can check out and do that research for yourself. But there have been more people coming to the light. I know this story, the young woman, the young lady, she's not an actual young lady, but the young lady who decided to come out and speak on what had taken place actually decided to speak on what had taken place because of some comments that Russell Simmons said about Terry Crews, who had mentioned possibly being assaulted or being fondled in a negative way. Amanda Seales, who's currently on the show Insecure, she's an actress on the show Insecure. She took to social media and said she's not surprised.
Yo, her clip was dope because she showed the shit that she did a couple of years ago, and that was ill, though.
She said she's not surprised. She said that she met Russell in a meeting one time, and he asked her, "Have we ever fucked?" So, I mean, that's crazy in a sense, you know, if that's actually what went down. Of course, she went on, she said she replied no, and Simmons went on to say, "Oh, yeah, right, because I would have remembered that, right?" So, you know, if that's the case, that's hard. But, H, what I wanted to talk about and bring up, you know, it's pretty hard. You know, I have to come in and say, you know, we're not females. We don't know exactly what takes place in the workplace as far as how things are conducted for the female species and the things that they go through on a day-to-day basis in the workplace, regardless of what their job is. And I don't believe that any human being, whether they be male, female, black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, should have to go to their place of work or place of business and feel harassment, whether that be sexual harassment, verbal harassment, physical harassment, whatever it may be. But speaking right now just with Russell Simmons, you know, you think about this time last year, a lot of attention was spent on Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby was going through a lot of sexual allegations and sexual claims, and he was going back and forth to court because of these claims. And we were hearing about sponsors dropping him. We were hearing about universities removing his name from buildings and scholarship programs, all type of different things. And as of recently, we've heard about the quote-unquote Hollywood scandals where we've seen different Hollywood producers and directors and bigwigs being accused and hit with claims of sexual harassment, both in male and female. And now we see, you know, that it's hopped over into the African-American culture. And another gentleman that's pretty prominent, you know, an icon in the African-American culture. It's funny because I remember a few weeks ago we were having a debate about greatest groups ever, and we often have our debates about Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and, you know, who are the great African-American entrepreneurs of the day. And you mentioned one day, like, yo, you know, we don't ever say Russell Simmons. Like, what about Russ? You know, like, and so it's ironic, you know, like that was literally a conversation maybe about a month ago, you know, and now we see his name in the headlines for things like this. We spoke about him as far as Fat Farm. Are people buying Fat Farm? Does he still have stock or ownership in Fat Farm? Are these recent allegations and claims, and, you know, like, are these things destroying his legacy, and do you feel like they will destroy the empires that he's built? Or, you know, do you feel like wasn't nobody buying that no way? You know, no one was, you know, checking for Russell Simmons yoga, and, you know, like his businesses won't be destroyed because they were already on the decline, if that makes sense.
Nah, I understand what you're saying, but it's just, you know, we looked up to him as a, you know, he's like a hip hop icon, and it's sad to see that this is how he's going out. And I got a friend. He used to say, he always says to me, when the elder statesman leaves the game, they always go out in a weird way, as in like when Clive Davis was retiring out, that's when he comes out to say he's gay and all that type of stuff. So look, everybody that's older, they don't let you lead a game clean, which is crazy to me, and I don't get it. Like,
but do you think he brought this on himself to an extent? And I don't mean this
course,
to,
yes.
for our female viewers. I don't mean brought this on himself as to say, you know, like, of course he brought it on himself if he did assault this woman. He brought this on himself in 1991. What I mean to say is, like, he reopened this bag from his past because he made a statement to somebody else who felt sexually abused, like, you know, oh, just let it be, and it comes to see that he could possibly be a sexual abuser himself, you know.
Right. That's why he should have just chilled out, just mind your business, brother. And this probably would have never came out.
So do you think that for the businesses that he has, is it fair? You know, is it fair to say as he did, you know, like he stepped down from his businesses and now HBO for a program in which he was the creator, he created this program and he's the executive director. So say, you know, hey, say, you know, I know you didn't, but just say you had did something in your past, you know, like you're the creator of Live Hip Hop Daily, and it comes out, you know, oh, H did something back in 1981, and we don't want to get down with you anymore. So now, you know, like that, you know, now your name is being removed from everything great that's been done here at the studios and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's whack. Well, not really, because it ain't like his music legacy is gonna be, because that's what he's known for. It's really all the new stuff that he's partnered up with people with, like at HBO and all that type of stuff. That's where he's losing. But look on the bright side, because you know they only give one black person a chance. Being that Def Jam, you know, now somebody else could come out and make some new shit for newer comedians. Because actually there isn't nothing for newer comedians. We don't see no new comedians. Like even with the Def Jam, when they come, it's gonna be the same. The ones who used to be there. It's not nobody new and stuff. It's like, come on. So I mean, I look at it on the good side. Maybe now somebody will get a shot to get some HBO love. But
do you think it may hurt other African American entrepreneurs in various venues, because now just per se, on a vice versa with you know, I do a lot with my man who has his Life Journey brand. You know, he's African American young man, positive brand. Our brother right in the studio here, Rainey, he has Black Boy Fly. You know, so we have those two things right there. And say me and you decide to do something, we do Tut Live Hip Hop Daily Comedy, but Macy's doesn't want to put the brothers that we mess with, their brand, you know, they're a little hesitant to put their brands in Macy's because of what transpired the last time they had an African American brand. And yeah, you have your Sean Johns and brands that'll still be in those stores, but as we mentioned, they have already built those partnerships and those legacies. So as you mentioned, somebody new, they might be scared to give a Rick Ross an opportunity, you know, to put his clothing line in there, or to say, would
it's funny that you even brought up Rick Ross. Remember maybe last month or 2 months ago on why he said he wouldn't sign a female rappers because of situations like this. It's like, come on.
He caught a lot of flack for that. Yeah,
right.
He caught a lot of flack for that.
Yo, we be in a tough situation, man. We in a tough situation when we be in these places, because it's like, so certain things it's like we can't even say nothing really, because a woman can say harassment with anything. We keep saying what's up, boo, every morning. She like, this nigga's harassing.
Hey, I dig that, and that's what I had a homie. I'm not gonna put too much of his business out there, but that happened to him at his workplace and whatnot. He had a homegirl, or not a homegirl, excuse me. I'm not even gonna term it as that. He had a coworker, a young lady that he worked with, and he saw her every morning. And he would just say that, hey boo boo, hey baby girl, hey boo boo, hey baby girl. Lady would speak, hey, how you doing? How you doing? She's engaged. She would go home every day and kind of complain to her fiance, like, wow, that there's a cat at her job calling her boo-boo and babe every morning and whatnot. So one day, the cat came up to the job to see who was calling, his fiance Boo Boo and Babe. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because I was on the phone with my man when it was going, literally when the conversation went down. He was checking both of them on the phone with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a funny situation. But yeah, you never know what somebody else interprets or takes as harassment. I mean, that can go in any form of life. You know, like we laugh and joke amongst ourselves. You know, we talk trash about each other. Not trash, but, you know, we laugh at each other. Hey, what's up, little man? Hey, what's up, ugly man? Stuff like that. To somebody that's an outsider, they might, you know, come into our circle, you know, and hear us and we call them, hey, what's up, ugly man? Or we, you know, be teasing them, that outfit's nutty, and you know, and they feel like, oh, you know, I'm being bullied or harassed.
Our trip to Miami. That's why I said that to our other brother Danny when I was joking. I remember. I thought about it like, yo, right, these niggas not really in our circle, so they might start doing that to us.
And yeah, anything can be. You know, it's funny how people interpret things these days.
Let me stop with the joking and shit. It got to be only when it's us. You know.
So I wonder. I wonder.
Do you think it's gonna mess with his empire? Even though, like, what?
Yeah, I do. I believe it. That's why I pose the questions. I believe it will mess with his empire, and just in the future, it will possibly mess with, you know, other African American entrepreneurs down the line. Not to a strong effect, because I believe in today's culture, businesses pretty much realize that the black dollar or the urban dollar, whatever you want to call it, that it runs America. You know, I won't necessarily say it runs the world, but it definitely runs America. The urban dollar, the urban influence runs America. So they'll have to have some type of urban partnership. Like, you have to have Sean Johnny at Macy's if you want to make a certain quota. That's just a must. You know, like, you have to have that. Rihanna with her popular brand, we'll speak on Rihanna later. You have to have Rihanna's makeup brand in your Macy's or whatever your department store is if you want to meet a certain quota. So, but for Russell in itself, I just think that the power of the female is a hell of a thing, you know. And I think that sometimes not just as a, you know, I don't want to devalue females by any means. In this instant, though, I'm just speaking on as a consumer, because we're speaking on will it affect his business. And when females put their mind, we know one thing for sure. When females put their mind in something, they can do damn sure do anything. You know, that's for certain. You know, like we know that. And in an effort like this, where if he did do these things that he's being accused of, quite frankly, he was dead the hell wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, shit, you know, like, people face jail time for stuff like that. You know, like, I'm not bringing nothing up on anybody, but people do. You know, like, people face jail.
We all know some friends that have done some wild stuff that you be like, wow, I can't even believe you did that. I used to have a friend who used to, at parties, you know, dancing, you know, drink, you know how parties get, and then he used to see a girl and just straight up go up to her and just start slobbing her. And I used to be like, are you fucking crazy? Now we thinking about it like, yo, that was crazy. Because at the time, of course, hilarious, you that nigga and all this type of shit. But now it's like, yo, like, I always say to him, like, yo, if you get big, you know shit can come out like this. Like, yo, this nigga just, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's looking for a paycheck. You know what I mean?
That's real. Everybody is looking for a paycheck. But I tend to believe that if females decide to put their mind to it and boycott his events or boycott things that he had, you know, the rush dollar, just rush anything, you know, like that.
The rush card and
all type of things. Like, yeah, it's a wrap for that, you know. And I think that was a step into why I believe he stepped down. Because it's like, okay, if I step down from being the face, then my business, my bottom line may not be affected as much, you know.
Yo, this is why I think also this is a learning lesson, as in to diversify your businesses, as in every name, all your names shouldn't be connected to you, as in you see Rush, Russell, Def Comedy, James.
But that's also, you know, but that's also kind of the, I don't want to say the pyramid of business, but you have to, you know, because
everything you do don't be connected to hip hop since '87.
No, true, but it's still connected to me. Like you say, it's still connected to me.
Name has no connection. Like it has something to do with Rush or Russell or Def Jam. Every name he had Def or Rush or you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's his name. We know that's him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All your shit is just different names.
But
so
see, I've heard that too. But see, I think that I don't know, because I've heard that from various people, like you say, like you should never, some things should be a mystery, like people shouldn't know that you own this or own that or own this. But then in certain lights, it's like when we speak about Jay-Z to an extent, we know at one point people were drinking Heineken because Jay-Z was doing it. Like people were wearing Reeboks at one point because Jay was wearing them. Now they're wearing Puma. Like sometimes you have to associate yourself with the brand or the business. But
as you see, matter of fact, he is doing it because everything is Rock Nation.
Yeah,
everything is rock. So if he falls or anything happens with him, that means everything is gone. Everything under that rock shit is gonna fuck up.
But that's the risk of business. Because we get down with Rock because of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
It's a double-edged sword.
Double-edged. We get the digital one is in the building. The digital one is in effect. Yes. We get down with, shout out to Danny Digital in the building. We get down with those Rock products because we know it's Jay-Z. We get down with certain things. Folks go to Checkers and Wingstop now because they know Rick Ross is affiliated with those things. So, at one point in time, African Americans, urban hip hop heads were buying the Adidas because they knew Run DMC, who was Russ, was affiliated with that. So of course he had to, it's like, oh, if I got a Russ card, this black entrepreneur who's made something of himself.
That's why I got the Russ card because I'm going.
So it's like you got he has to. So it's like, are those businesses going to now fold? Like are those things, regardless of if you change it. I don't know what all of his kids' names. I don't know if he has a Russ Jr. But even if you pass it down to someone, some consumers are smart enough to know like that bottom line still coming to the, like it's still coming to you. Like. So it'll be very interesting. But to wrap that up on what we were saying, Russell Simmons, who was recently accused of several different sexual allegations. Now we didn't go into depth about those actual claims and allegations. You can definitely go and check that out for yourself. Let Google be your friend, and you can continue the conversation and do research after this here segment. But JCPenney has dropped Russell Simmons, his clothing brands, from about 10% of their stores. They only had it in about 10% of their stores, 80 of their 875 stores, but they are now gone. They have been removed, and HBO will remove his name and from the credits and from their future broadcast and production of All Def Comedy Jam. All Def Comedy Jam, something as a spinoff that was created for what was something that was originally created in 1992, Def Comedy Jam. Something that to this day, we still look back on for some of the comedians, the Martin Lawrence, Bernie Macs, the Chris Rocks, Chris Tucker. So many cats, got their start with Def Comedy Jam. So, this will be interesting to see where this goes. This will be interesting to see where this goes. Let us know. Let us know what you think and what you feel about this. Comment below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Live Hip Hop Daily, and give us some feedback and let us know what you think. Will these latest allegations against Russell Simmons affect his business? Can you see him recovering from these allegations? Let us know what you think. We'll be back in a moment with more.